I'm going to ask about what appears to be an immigration enforcement surge that has taken place over the last week. And it goes to the other executive order that had to do with immigration that was signed. How do you define a criminal act by an undocumented immigrant in this country? Is just being undocumented here illegally, is that enough of a criminal act to get you deported under this order?
The order describes a criminal offense, which would typically mean anything from a misdemeanor to a felony. In particular, the emphasis is on crimes that threaten or endanger public safety. But as you well know, you cannot order a federal law enforcement officer in ICE any more than you can in the FBI or the DEA or the Marshal Service to ignore the laws of the United States. It would be highly unethical for me in the White House or anybody else to pick up the phone and call an ICE officer and say, well, when you encounter this particular felon, we'd like you to pretend the law doesn't exist. But I can tell you right now, there are enforcement actions happening all over this country in which gang members, drug dealers, sex offenders are being swept up.
Felons. What about if the only crime they've committed was being here illegally? Is that enough to be deported?
Sean, an immigration judge makes those decisions. The ICE officer makes those decisions. I in the White House don't make those decisions.
So you have not told them to prioritize or in either direction?
If people don't like the immigration laws of the United States, they can reform them. Our emphasis is on deporting and removing criminal aliens who pose a threat to public safety. And I just want to say this. There's been a lot of coverage in the news about the effects of these enforcement actions on people who are here illegally. And that's an issue people are free to discuss. But what's more important and what should be discussed more is the lives that are being saved, Chuck, the American lives that are being saved because we're taking enforcement action. And when we didn't take those actions in the past, you have families like the Wilkerson family and the Root family and the Mendoza family who lost people they loved because we were more concerned about the effects of enforcement on people here illegally than on the well-being of lawful immigrants and U.S. citizens.
So it sounds to me as if you're saying you did not tell ICE workers who to prioritize.
No, that's not correct. I'm saying that in the White House, it would be improper for me to tell them to disengage from an enforcement action. The President has been clear, unequivocal, and explicit in saying that we're going to focus on removing individuals who pose a threat to public safety, including people who are gang members, who've been charged with criminal offenses, who've been multiple immigration violations, who've been deported and re-entered. I have a question. What would you say, Chuck, what would you say to a family member who lost someone they loved because an illegal immigrant who'd been deported 2 times and had a misdemeanor conviction was allowed to come back into the country a 3rd time because that wasn't deemed a priority and they lost someone they loved? Would you say, well, I'm sorry, it didn't meet our priority scale. We're going to focus on public safety and saving American lives, and we will not apologize for that.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and then click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.